WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often reviewing rare and exotic whiskeys. Knob Creek 18-year-old, small batch, 100 proof, 50% ABV, and I have release number KC002. The DSP, of course, is Kentucky 230, and this is the limited edition. Now, very interesting, it is 50%. Why do they not call it bottled and bond? The only reason I can think of is, of course, we can only use one distilling season, January to June, July to December. And if they use some barrels from August and some barrels from May, it's not bottled and bond. So, $189 is basically what I paid for it. On top of the $189, I was allowed to pay, I'm going to try to spin this into a positive thing, for sending this bottle from US to Germany, $31. I had 7 bottles in a package, and divide 31 times it by 7, $220 I paid for postage and handling. And I paid another $24 for excise tax, import tax, alcohol tax, VAT, and so on to get these bottles in my hand. So $189, euros are about the same, or parity, and another 51 dollars on top. That's expensive, but I did a bottle share. I could have done 2. So many people wanted to try the Knob Creek 18. No one else in Germany, as far as I have seen in the last years, has ever had a bottle of this. I did a video, at least in German, of the old Knob Creek 18 in November of 2017. That's almost 8 years ago. And on Christmas Eve of 2017, I actually did a video about the Elijah Craig 23, which was back then still very expensive. And to be very honest, I was not a big fan of either of them. They were just, in my opinion, over-oaked. I don't need that. And so, what am I going to compare it to? I'm going to compare it to Knob Creek 9-year-old. Now, this is half the age, and for the German price I paid, I can get this on sale at Amazon for 28 euros. So 28 euros times 8, I can get 8 bottles of the 9-year-old for the price of 1 bottle of this. I think that's crazy. Now, if you just think about the Angel share for a moment, all right, you take, let's say for 18 years ago, or let's say 9 years ago, you make your standard beam mash bill here that goes into our Knob Creek, and you put it into a barrel. The first thing the barrel does is it acts as a sponge and soaks up a lot of the devil's cut. A lot of that whiskey, a lot of that moonshine, that new make, is sucked into the pores of the bourbon barrels and remains in there for basically the entire life, and it's not given back up. In addition to that, between 5 and 8% every year, Angel share is there in Kentucky. So if we take 18 and we just times it by 5, we get a nice little number called 90%. Now, it's not correct that there's just 10% left in the barrel. Now, our barrels, after 18 years of age, they are empty. But normally, according to what I've read a lot, especially with the George T. Stagg and so on, you're going to have between 20 and 40 liters still in each 200-liter barrel. Now, for you, it's going to be a 52-gallon. And so we're going to talk about between 5 and 15 gallons left of the 52. That's not a great business model, is it? Imagine you create something. You buy a special container, a wood barrel. You pour this wonderful liquid that you had to distill, that you had to ferment, that you had to actually mash. And then you put it into the barrel, and you come back after 18 years, and you have 80% of it gone. I don't know any other food product that's like that. Honey doesn't disappear over years unless you eat it. Wine doesn't disappear. Even if you put something fermented cabbage, like in Japan or Korea, you put it into the earth in these clay ceramic type of vases and jars, it doesn't really disappear in volume or in weight. But whiskey does. Yeah. And all that money, all that energy, all that effort you put into making that whiskey, after 18 years, there's just a few gallons left. Now, this is highly concentrated. This is wonderful juice. And yet, it's going to be very anticlimactic because I'm not a big fan of this. Now, you're going to go, Jason, why did you buy it? Well, I can tell you a tiny little story. There's this one guy over here in Europe. We have a couple of different bourbon groups, and he's been bugging people for the last year, looking for a sample, looking for a bottle of Knob Creek 18. And about a month and a half ago, he actually wrote, willing to buy Knob Creek 18 for 500 euros. It's like, I'm going to do a little order anyways, then by my 2 places where I can order whiskey in America and have them sent them to me over here to Germany, Blackwell's and DE Wine Spot, and was like, okay, good. I'll just order a bottle. He's willing to pay 500. It's going to cost me 220 something to get it over here. I'll sell it to him, no problem. And then I sent him a picture, said, hey, you were looking for this. You offered 500 euros for it. Here you go. Should we do the deal? He's like, oh, I'm sorry, that was a typo. It's like, yeah, sure it was. Now, this guy, actually 3 years ago, he ordered a bunch of samples. And then I actually called him out and said, hey, please pay. And he said, oh, sorry, don't want them anymore. Just cancel the order. It's like, well, they're sitting here. I filled the samples up. What should I do with them? He said, I don't need them anymore. And so I gave this guy a second chance. And I sent him the picture. I said, hey, you wanted 500. He said, what's your price? I said, what are you willing to pay? You're the person that said 500. Now, you offered me something. What's your counter offer now? And then at the end, it was like, okay, good. No. All right. I need 250 euros. The bottle could be yours. And like 3 days, it was like back and forth. And then suddenly he just said, oh, why don't you just do a bottle share and I buy a sample? I was like, no, you're not getting any samples. Sorry. I've been burned once by you. I'm not going to be burned again. If you send me the money, I'll send you the bottle. Otherwise, no deal. And then another day later, he said, oh, I'm sorry. Even with a heavy heart, I'm going to have to say no. I said, no problem. I'll do a bottle share. Boom. It was gone within 90 minutes. Well, the whole bottle, everyone wanted a sample. He didn't get one. That's life. So, the wonderful experiences of people in the whiskey community. Saying I'd buy something for that price and then offering it. Oh, no. Sorry, typo. On the nose, the 9-year-old. I'm not the biggest Knob Creek fan. All right, so if I'm going to spend 30-some euros, I'm going to go for a Buffalo Trace. 22 euros. I'm going to go for a Eagle Rare 10-year-old. 32 euros over here. I'm going to go for Wild Turkey 101. 23 euros. I'm spoiled for choice at the different products I can buy for under 30 euros here. There's actually a video online on my German channel where I actually did the top 15, I did 2024, the top 15 bourbons under 20 euros, 30 euros, 40 euros, 50 euros, and under 80 euros. There was 5 separate individual videos where I didn't do the year, 2 years before that I did the top 10. Now I did top 10 plus 5 additional more unique, not mainstream whiskeys, bourbons. There's a video online about the best ryes by 30 euros, by 40, 50, and 80 euros as well on my channel for Germany. We're spoiled for choice over here, especially for bourbons that are very affordable. Now, this is not affordable. On the nose, I get a little bit of furniture polish. I get orange zest, candied orange zest, caramel, cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg, a lot of brown sugar, and oak spice. Now, it is a nice nose. I mean, this is a B nose. This is a C+. 25 euros, 225 euros. 9 years, 18 years. 50%, 50%. Same bottle, just a different label. Yeah? So, all right, let's try the 9-year-old. Nothing wrong with this. A little nutty, a little bit of hazelnut. Got the wood. Got the cinnamon, nutmeg, clove moment going on in there. Tiny little bit even of cherry today. Nice. Value for money. This is a B whiskey, at least over here in Germany. It's hard to beat. Yes, I could pull out the Wild Turkey Rare Breed under 40 euros. I can get almost 2 of these for 1 of these. It's a crazy good deal over here. All right, so let's try the 18-year-old. Is it over oaked? Eh. Is it what I'm looking for in a good bourbon? Eh. There's a lot of oak. Furniture polish again. I still get that candied orange peel. The interesting thing is they are both 50% ABV, and this one is hotter. You would think, I expected to say, oh, wow, 18 years in the cask. It should have mellowed the whiskey out. It should have smoothed all those corners and elbows and everything else it's there. No, this has much more peppery hotness than this does. And that surprised me. Really, really, really surprised me. The finish is longer, yes. Is it maybe double as long as this? Maybe. But don't forget, this is 8 times more the price, so I would expect an 8 times better whiskey. Not doable. There's that curve that just goes up the older you get, especially with bourbons here. Is it a bad price for $189? Well, I'm willing often to pay 10 euros per year for cask strength. No, it's not. Single cask, no, small batch. Bottlings from Scotland, Ireland, and America. And this is 10 euros per year for just 50%. And small batch, who knows how many casks were mixed together, thrown together to make this. The oak is more than evident. Is it a bad whiskey? No. Is it a tiny bit better than this? Yes. If I give this a C+, I'm going to give this a B. This is not an A whiskey. This is a B whiskey. It's fabulously interesting and very sought after, but it's not for me where I would go, oh, I would not gravitate towards this. I would not say, oh, look, it was a great weekend. I'm going to pour myself a pour. I have these 2. What will I pour? This is what I pour. I pour myself a rye, a Knob Creek rye 7-year-old. Fabulous stuff. Great price. I love my rye. And this is just a show-off bottle. A flex. We have one whiskey, WhatsApp whiskey group where it's Flex Fridays. And they pull out their bottles and take pictures and then flex. This is a flex bottle. Is it worth the money? In my opinion, no. Is it still good whiskey? Yes. Even blind is like, oh, that's a little bit older. It's a little bit complexer. It's more condensed. It's more compact. There's more complexity. There's a little bit more of layers. And yet it's like, oh, there's a lot of oak in there. It's a lot. Okay. So taste, C plus, B minus on a good day. Value for money, definitely the B. Taste, B, B minus. Value for money, D. So what would I do? Buy something else. Now, if you have the chance at a friend's place to try it, do it. If you have the chance to buy a pour for under $20, $25, do it. If you have the chance to buy it for under $150, if you have the spare change, do it. But if you're expecting this revelation, this epiphany, I'm sorry, I don't think this Knob Creek 18-year-old will give it to you. I actually have a whiskey base number for us here. It's going to be the whiskey base number 245297. And yeah, that was actually the KC002. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing. Thank you very much for telling other people about this channel. And if you have any, my question of the day is twofold. What is your favorite age-stated American product? I did not say bourbon. I did not say rye. What is it? You can even talk about light whiskey. I don't care. What is your favorite age-stated American whiskey? And second of all, what is your favorite Beam product? Is it the white label, the black label, the Bookers, the Bakers, the Knob Creek, the Basil Haydens, the Legends? What is your favorite Knob Creek Beam Suntory product? Thank you. See you real soon. Whiskey Jason. Bye-bye.